My name's Beth Guide. My company's name is Vertical Web, and we're a full service SEO, web design company. We do everything. And the reason we do everything is because you have to know all ends of this for this to work. There is a technical component that the website has to be designed right and assembled right. There's a writing component to this. There's several major things that you have to know for your website to have a good ranking. And a lot of people will say to me now, they'll say, well, why do I have to have a good ranking? And the fact of the matter is that Google still generates 80 to 85% of all traffic out on the internet, meaning that the search starts at Google and goes forward. Now, Amazon will say, like on an e-commerce level, that they're cutting into some of that. And I agree with that, I may go to Amazon. People may go to Amazon first, see what Amazon has to offer, and then proceed to, go back out on chat and see, price it out and do, because there's a lot of research. I had asked this question in a class with millennials, and I asked them how much they researched, and several of them stuck their hand up and told me they researched all the way down to what is the best wood pencil to buy. So if they're willing to, they're not just looking for what's the best car seat, what's the best baby carrier, they're looking for what's the best pencil to buy and what's the most economic. So when you know that people are out there looking for information, I just bought a new computer, and the first thing I did was, what's the best screen protector for a new MacBook? And then I was looking at them, and the ones on Amazon, I couldn't tell which ones went what. So I ended up finding myself out doing a Google search and ended up purchasing the screen protector outside Amazon. So this is where this starts to get to be a very important function. And anybody that does not pay attention to how well their website performs is doing themselves and their business development a great disservice. And I will tell you a little bit of an anecdotal story, if you will. We didn't even get 3 seconds in, and there's the question, right? I will address prefabricated here in just a minute. Okay. It's funny because we do this every single class, every class. But the reality of it is that, so, when I started my business, I did it with no advertising, no money, no nothing. And I built myself a website. I found out how to reverse engineer a search engine. What was it looking for on my website for me to place number, on the first page? And we placed number 7, at the time in AOL, because they were the biggest search engine, and we started signing up anywhere from 10 to 20 people every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And over the course of the 2.5 years that we maintained that ranking, I think we took in about 10,000 customers. So there was some scaling involved. It kind of got me a little bit out of what I wanted to do in the way of web hosting. Was not my original calling. I really, my sweet spot is web design, marketing, that kind of stuff. And the fact of the matter, somebody said, congratulations on being a self-made company. And although thank you, I appreciate the compliment, there's not a reason that everybody in the room cannot be a self-made company. Because it's sitting out there. All it takes is a little bit of rolling your sleeves up and some elbow grease and being willing to learn what needs to be done to make that happen. So that's kind of why we do this. And what we're talking about this.
There's a couple of ways that you can do this. One is you can do this where you're really learning how to do it over the years, or you can learn enough about it to better understand who you're hiring to help you do it, to make sure that they're doing a good job for you. So you don't always.
Well, and that's true.
Right.
It's absolutely true. That in itself is a really good point. The other thing is that there's 2 other ways to do it. One is to pay somebody to pay AdWords in an ad campaign, or to learn how to do this and not have to pay, or opt to pay a marketing agency that actually knows what they're doing to do it, which would be something like we do. So when I look at all of this, I say a website that's set up right, if you do that and you have a reasonable business that's not like weight loss is way too tough. So if you wanted to run a weight loss, vitamin supplements, that kind of stuff, that's a little bit more difficult. But the reality of it is that, you know, if you have a business, especially a local business, there's no reason that you cannot use the internet to grow that business and create a endless stream of customers for yourself. So the thing is that I do a lot of, and this is why I wanted to start to kind of address some of this with you, is we're probably in the 3/4 pole of the year. We're starting to come into, you know, the last 3 to 4 months of the year. And if anybody knows anything about Houston, everybody's going to roll the sidewalks up and on the 15th of November, and we won't see everybody until the 1st of January. So although we're only coming into September, we have a short time left in the year past the holiday season, and everybody will be out of here. So now is your time to sit down and do some self-evaluation and see where you're at. And I want to go through the points that you should be looking at so that you understand even how you're looking to do that. So the first question I have, though, because I see this scrolling by, and I might as well just say this up front and answer it now. Okay. Prefabricated websites do not rank on Google. Now, Wix wants you to believe that they've put some tools in that will cause that to happen, as does Shopify. But anybody that is a serious person that wants serious traffic to their website and want to be taken seriously, those platforms are not designed in a way that are congruent with Google. So I always want everybody to be well aware that although you could do that, and if your objective is to do paid advertising, great. Just know that you're doing paid advertising. About a month ago, I went and talked to a company that was spending $5 million a year on paid advertising. And to me, it's like, I often say it's like crack. Sometimes I say it's like, you know, once you get on that habit, you can't get off the habit. And I really hate to get somebody, especially somebody that's a smaller business, on the paid search merry-go-round, because at the end of the way, it's very difficult. Yes, I said Wix is not suitable. And I'm trying.
Oftentimes that kind of freaks people out of it because they've got everything built on Wix. They've got everything built on Squarespace. So I think,
And GoDaddy, because we got that one now too. Yep.
yeah, and GoDaddy. So what it means basically is you're creating a place where you can send people, but it's not going to attract people the same way you might be able to do it when you built it on WordPress or some other one that Google is paying attention to. Right. And so it's possible that if you're on Wix or Squarespace right now, you know, you don't own that content either. And so you also may start considering that you're gonna, pardon
You
me?
don't own the platform. You own the content if you typed it yourself, but you don't own the apparatus, which makes it a problem.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you for that. And so it's possible that you could still exist on where you are, but then start working in the background on the day that you will, if you really want to go make a website where you're making the most of Google searches and things like that, then you can plan ahead for that. So it's not the end of the world for you, but it might be a beginning of a repositioning of your company sooner or later, depending upon how important it is to you.
Yeah, and there's a comment here that I want to point out. It says attract and reroute, problem solved. If only it was that easy. Okay, so the thing is that Google's looking at the overall, and we're going to talk about how these things are. I'm hoping to talk through all of this on how these things are put together. But at the end of the day, it is not a matter of retracking, you know, attracting them and rerouting them. That is not a good way to approach this. The other thing is that people are told, you know, hey, if you're going somewhere else, you're coming in one spot and you're being rerouted to another URL. Sometimes that's a slamming type of an attempt, and not to do business with those people. So I would never, myself would never recommend going down a road where you attract them in and then you reroute them and that solves a problem. I think that makes other problems. So I did say Wix is not suitable. Squarespace, GoDaddy, anybody with a prefab, and even WordPress.com. Anybody with a prefabricated website builder that allows you to point, click, drop, drag, that kind of stuff in it that comes on a platform. The code is a little bloated. It doesn't allow you to put it together properly. It doesn't allow the right penetration on the title tags. There's just so many different things that some of which I'll touch on tonight. There's so many things about it that if you don't do the technical part right, you're going to have a very negative situation. And because these platforms are not doing the technical right, you're already at an extreme disadvantage before you even get started. Whereas WordPress allows you to put together a CMS system, a system that is put together right in a way that Google wants it to be put together. This is those things that I think we need to be aware of when we're pulling this kind of stuff. So be careful using these outside third-party point and click situations, because they're not marketing situations. It's like the difference between going and having a brochure professionally designed and being effective, or going to Vistaprint and just dragging some things on paper and printing it out. They may kind of look the same, but at the end of the day, the professional job's always going to get you ahead. So just kind of let's not go down the cookie cutter road. If you're serious and if you want traffic to your website and you want customers to find you and people to come to you and buy your services without you having to go knock on their door, cold call them, go to a networking event, numerous other ways to get business. I mean, that's a long game. That's a lot of extra work. It's a big problem. And, it's just not the right word. Not right way I would send somebody down the track. So next question says, does a website have a significant impact on service-oriented companies such as financial coaching and consulting? And is it geared more for a product-based company? No, you should have a solid website. If you are an accountant, you should be putting up information. You should be demonstrating your knowledge. You should be showing that you're the best accountant in Houston, or the best financial coach, or whatever you are. That's what should be out there and being published. Product-based websites are handled differently. Those are also point and click. But if I want somebody to find an accountant, I have one accountant, they get at least 2 to 3 leads for new customers a week, new clients a week, because their website's sitting in the #1 spot in freaking Post Oak. So everybody in that area, anybody ever go down to Post Oak these days and start looking up, there's a lot more skyscrapers there, and those people are all looking for accountants. So I do not, I think that everybody should do this. My web design business, if I had to say, I probably get more web design / SEO leads than I do a product, which is web hosting at this point. All right. So I get more people coming to me just randomly to come, and between knowing me, knowing of me, and then doubling back, finding the website and then going, oh, wait, this is the person I heard about. So I kind of have it going in 2 directions. So no, do not discount yourself. This applies to anybody and everybody. I literally have built an entire business using search engines, not because I know how to make them rank on search engines, but because the search engines were the lead source. And, I've never really had a sales force other than me and the website itself. So that's why that's important. It says, what about WordPress through GoDaddy? No, WordPress through GoDaddy is still platform based. Now, you could buy regular hosting through GoDaddy and then install your own version of WordPress, but you do not want to go down the WordPress.com route, because that's still being run off a platform and not being run off a set of files that live on a web server. So that to me is a nuanced difference, but no, that's not a, make sure you're using WordPress.org type files. It said, what would you recommend to utilize I wouldn't recommend it at all. So I can't use this question. It says, what would you recommend to utilize a prefabricated website unless you have no desire to have a search engine find you? I cannot say to use a prefabricated website. So it just depends on your business objectives.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so what you're recommending is they use WordPress.org not WordPress.com, and you're doing that not because you get any kind of kickback from WordPress, you just think it's a better way to go.
Be set
And
up right.
right?
It can be set up right. The
Yeah.
rest of them
So
can't
tell them
be.
the difference between WordPress and WordPress.com and WordPress.org, and then counsel them a little bit about how to go from one to the other if they're going to do that slowly or later, and build toward it later.
All right. So, I don't even know what you're asking me to tell them, but
Well,
I mean,
first
WordPress.com is a platform. You get what you get and you can't manipulate it. Whereas
kind of like
WordPress.org
GoDaddy
is,
and Wix, right?
yeah, similar to GoDaddy and Wix. They're all platforms and you get what you get. Um, it's just the problem is that WordPress.org is a standalone set of files. You can pick them up, you can move them anywhere you want, you can manipulate them, you can write to them, you can do whatever you want. They're not coming off a centralized server and pushing out to your website the way, whatever the files and the file system and the file structure is on the platform. So you want stuff that's constructed in a way to be most congruent with Google. And I'll tell you honestly, when I have a WordPress build now that I use and like my customers get when they sign up with us, that's got all the things in it that need to be set up for to succeed in Google, because I can put them in and manipulate them and put them in the right way. And when I do that, I mean, there's some 35 or 40 different elements that I've added to it to make it work right, that you could not use if you just go and do it on Wix. So here's the thing, okay? These platforms, they just look at it from a very rudimentary standpoint. And what I mean when I say that, okay, is there's like kindergarten SEO, and then there's SEO that is like, PhD level SEO. So they're doing the kindergarten pieces of SEO right, okay? So you can put a title tag on it. You can maybe put a header tag on it. You can do some of those very basic things. But the problem is that you have to be able to put the file structure and the URL structures together, right? Which I'm going to go right over all your heads because you don't know what I'm talking about. It doesn't let you build out those URL structures right. It doesn't let you silo content right. It doesn't allow you to string things together properly, and the code is super bloated. It may not allow you to put a different title between your article or your page name and the actual title tag of the page. So I'm going to address all these things, but there's so many nuanced things that these platforms don't consider. They fail miserably on the technical end. And then if I take a bunch of people that have no idea what they're doing and they're failing on a technical end, they're not going very far, very fast. And they used to have contests to see whether you could take a Shopify website and make it rank. And some of the best SEO companies in the country would actually do this as a contest to see what it would take to do. So that kind of gives you an idea how hard something is. So I think that's what I want you all to understand is it's not, if it's on a platform, so it's saying, well, do you recommend Shopify? I do not recommend anything from other than WordPress.org. Okay. There's a shopping cart system that's part of WordPress.org. Everything we do, everything we recommend is WordPress.org. Not because I have any vested interest in it. It's that I cannot make these other things work. And I should say these other things are not designed to work in the best direction for your business. They're there for you to pay your monthly rent, think you solved the problem, and that's that. This says Elementor is no good. Elementor is fine because Elementor is a part of WordPress. So if you have a WordPress.org with Elementor, you're fine. I use Elementor on my stuff. Very happy with it. And it's trying to put stuff together right. This one says it's very frustrating trying
to them why they're the two go together.
Say what?
Well, WordPress and element.org and Elementor, how do they go together?
There's a part of WordPress. That's why that is. The next one's, I don't even know what Webflow is. So some of these are all, yeah, Elementor is part of WordPress, but you want it in WordPress.org, not WordPress.com. All right. So you're saying it's very frustrating kind of create a website by yourself, and it can be. We've done things here with videos to show you how to do it. Um, and I understand. So this says a lot of businesses are trying to be economical. All right. So this is the question that I have. Okay. You can sit down and take the time and learn how to do it yourself and do it properly. But being like economical puts you out of business. If your goal is to have new customers come to you, and you're not going to go out and beat bushes and cold call and do all this kind of stuff, and you just think you're going to put a website up and people are going to come to you, it's like not a right thing to say. So you're trying to be economical to your own detriment. Sandra, how many small businesses go out of business in the first year? You know that off the top of your head? I do. Do you know it?
You know, go ahead and tell me, and I'll tell you if I did know that.
Let's say in the first 5 years. What's the answer in the first 5 years? 95% go out of business within the first 5 years. 95%. And that number is so in other words, what I'm saying is only 5% of businesses make it. But the thing is that you have to be smart. That's why I'm doing this class. All right. And you have to decide, how am I going to get business? It's like people will tell me, you're not going to appreciate this comment, so don't be mad at me for saying it. But I went and wrote a business plan, and within the first 3 days, it was in the garbage can. And the reason why is because I realized that what I put in that business plan was not right. Now, I didn't have a whole bunch of people that were helping me and supporting me and helping me get to the right spot on that business plan. Okay. But the minute I opened my doors and had to listen to customers, I realized every premise I had in that business plan was not correct. And had I stuck to it, we would have been out of business. So this is why I don't want us to be on an economic, learn how to do it and do it with the right tools. Put the time in. There's videos all over the internet. You just have to be willing to put that time in. And I mean, I know myself, weekends, evenings, whatever I had to do and still do, whatever I've got to do is what I've got to do to make this business stay solvent and keep my business and keep my doors open. All right. So says next one says we initially had a WordPress site and now we use Shopify. It was a lot of work to get it done. Not perfect though. So let me tell you the opposite. I had somebody that did what you did, was in WordPress, put it in Shopify. They lost 40% of their traffic. They came back to me 5 years later and said, okay, we give up. We can't do Shopify anymore. Can you get it out of Shopify? I got it out of Shopify. I put it in WordPress. They've hired 10 new people. Their traffic's up by 45%, and they're blowing the doors off that I'm having to now build them a custom application to maintain all their floor plans. So, we can talk about what's easy and what's not easy, but are we also talking about what's successful and not what's not successful? All right.
So did you notice that some of them are asking, are we really going to look at websites today?
Yeah, no, I haven't gone down there because we're 32 lines down now. I'm trying to get to them all, Sandra, and they're going faster than I can get to them all.
I know, it's a talkative bunch.
So I'm trying to get down through them all. So let's see. Yes, we can look at websites tonight. That's what I'm going to do. It says, what about page builders? If it's inside WordPress, I'm good with it. I do lean towards Elementor this month. It says, unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave early, be back next month, see if there's recording. Yes, there's going to be a recording. This says a lot. What do you suggest as a starting spot? All right. So I suggest getting a good web host that has a good WordPress plan, springing for the 30 or to 40 bucks to have the, like my company. It literally is designed to give you the tools you need. And oh, by the way, we have a companion video that shows you what to do. And we're here once a month helping you. So, I mean, if you're willing to put in the time, it's free. It's 30 bucks a month. It's nothing freaking 2 steaks at a supermarket cost that. I don't know. That's like, to me, $30 is getting to a point where it's, the world is kind of spinning off its axis, and that's kind of a low ball amount these days. So, all right. WordPress.com is commercial. No. WordPress.org is standalone files. WordPress.com is a platform. One is not. The commercial application of WordPress.com is designed for them to just charge you rent, give you a base set of install, and then you don't have to worry about it. All right, how fast can you be? I need to, how fast can you build a retail website? Well, I could build one over on a Sunday. So I don't know. I don't know how to, depends on how good you are with a computer. If you're good enough with a computer, you can do it. I'm trying to get down everybody so I can get through these questions so we can kind of get to where I need to go. Miva and BigCommerce, I would stay clear. Miva is extremely difficult, extremely difficult. BigCommerce is a faceplate over WordPress, and it's not super well designed. Another one that we take something out, and so that this says, do you provide audits of a current website? Yes, that's what I'm hoping to get through tonight. Let's see. All right, I paid up $192 for the first 3 years. Yeah, you can find some discounted if you want, but then you may have to pay all the licensing fees on the website. So for like us, we don't discount it, but we give about $500 to $1,000, depending on what plan you take. There are about $500 worth of free licensing fees built into every. So although you're saving on the actual hosting, you may, to get the parts and pieces you need, you may have to pay for things. So this one said WordPress.org is better building it on websites on a paid Google domain. Yeah. You don't have to buy your domains from Google. I'm going to tell you that. I mean, if it was personally me, I would not buy my domain from Google, mostly because when you have a problem with your domain, Joe, try to call them. You can't get them on the phone. So I would be very leery of buying a domain from Google, but everybody should have their own domain. Everybody should have their own website. So I would make sure we did that. I'm learning to use, I know tons of, yeah, see, this says I'm learning to use Elementor, tons of tutorials on YouTube. Whatchamacallit, Elementor has a huge library themselves on what to do with stuff. And somebody said, yes, the purpose of having a business is to stay in business. I know, we've got to get everybody on that page, and your website should be a great enabler of that happening. So I'm trying to get down these, so I apologize. You literally are going faster than I can answer everybody. So let's see. All right. Okay, so let's back up a second here. So let me take this website here and take a look at it. Yeah, let's do this. All right, yeah, let's do this. Let me share my screen here on this one. I am gonna use this one. This one got thrown into the scroll. I'm gonna just use it. Yeah, and Google Domains just got stole to Squarespace. And let me tell you a story about Squarespace, okay? This is just an anecdotal story, but Squarespace registers their own domains through a company called Two Cows. They don't have a good apparatus to renew domains, so they constantly have people losing their domains and having to pay a couple $100 to get their domains back. If it was me, I would not be buying. In fact, frankly, Two Cows came to us, and for about 6 years, all I did was help people with Squarespace to purchase domains, get their domains back. So I'd be really careful with that one if I was everybody. All right, let me share my screen here. Let's see. Yeah, let me look at both of these. Just give me a second here. Let me share the screen. Let's start with that. Okay, so this one got put up on the screen, and I'm going to share it. Let's start with this. All right, so this one here is a website, and this is a great way to do this. First of all, the person that gave me this website, are you really in the Bronx? Would be my first question. Let's see. That would be my first question. So let me see. I lost the window here. Hold on a minute, Sandra.
What do you mean you can't see what you're showing?
I can't see the chat. Hold on.
Oh, I can tell you. Well, first of all, I put your website link in the chat, and I also gave them the phone number of your company. So yeah. Somebody was asking about that. So let me back up. I don't know where you are. What time are you in the questions?
Wherever this lady gave me her website. 6:40.
Okay.
All right. So my first question is, are you really in the Bronx?
In the
Is
Bronx?
that in the Bronx? This is a whole website about the Bronx.
Okay.
Yes, you're really in the Bronx. Okay. All right. Well, good. I talk like I'm from the Bronx because I grew up in New Jersey. So we're from the same neighborhood. So that works out good. All right. So here's a couple things I'm going to tell you. So when I do an audit on a website, I take a look at it and I start to evaluate how well it meets Google's criteria. So I would like to know, you said you're an admin agency, but then you're also saying you're offering digital marketing services. So what does that mean to you? Can you put in the chat what that means to you? Because I'm wondering why you're saying you're an admin agency and why you're saying you're a digital marketing agency. And I'm wondering if those two things are not really congruent. So if I look at the title of this website, it says JJ Brown Admin Agency. And first of all, Google has no idea who JJ Brown is. So therefore, what's going to happen on that is they're not even going to know where to start on that. So if you're an administrative agency, what do you do? Would be the first set of questions. So everybody needs to evaluate their title tag, which is this bar right here at the very top, where it says JJ Brown Admin Agency Pipe Digital Marketing Services Bronx. Now, the other things is Bronx, comma, New York, not Bronx, because it could be Bronx, Chicago. It could be, or Bronx, Illinois. I mean, I understand when you're in the tri-state area, everybody understands that it's New York's, but Google needs to have Bronx, comma, New York. Oversimplification, I know. This says, I'm thinking of just changing it to one nuance. So you're trying to do two things at once is what I'm trying to do. So if that's okay. Yeah. All right. So we've got to pick a lane and stay in it. All right. Because the thing is that we can't be 8 different things to 8 different people. Either we're administrative agency, which I'm not sure what that is. I'm either a marketing agency. Best marketing agency in the Bronx might be up in my title tag. Type JJ Brown Admin Agency. I would change your name though if you're going to be in digital marketing, because people aren't going to understand what you're saying. When I go and I look at this, so I'm going to evaluate from the title tag down. So every one of you needs to open your page and look at what the title tag of your website says. And that is this line at the very top that's under where it says home admin. I don't think I can highlight it, but it's at the very, very tip of the top of the screen in the gray. That is what the title tag is. And your title tag should be something along the lines of, and I'm going to show you mine. I just had this discussion with my business partner today, and I want to show you how I crafted it. So mine says Expert Houston SEO Service, Web Design Agency, SEO Houston Web Hosting. Now let's talk about why the words are in that order. Okay, they are in that order because Houston SEO is the biggest term that we have. All right, it's a very important term. Okay, so I appended services to the end of it because it now gave me other terms. I stuck the word expert in the front of it because people are looking for experts frequently, and when they're looking for experts, so I stuck it in front. So that whole thing was constructed in a way that it could be an SEO expert in Houston, a Houston SEO service, a SEO service, an expert SEO service. All of those things flow together to make that title tag work out right. The next thing I did is I added the web design agency, and I stuck the SEO where I did a second time because it fit with web design agency and SEO. Sticking the Houston at the end of it changes the search term, and then the Houston web hosting go along with that same term. So I was able to get a whole bunch of more terms in there. Houston web design agency, SEO agency, So if I shook this out, you ever see those games that play letters that you can make exact how much you're saying and how much you are saying, you align the letters and then how many different combinations can you make out of them? That's basically the way I write my title tags. I write them in a way that I cover the most amount of ground and the least amount of characters. The thing is, where it says people appreciate masters instead of jack of all trades, whether that's right or wrong, I'm going to tell you from Google's eyes, if Google doesn't understand what the heck you do, you could be the best jack of all trades or the worst master of all trade of one trade. If they don't understand it, they're not going to give you a ranking, and you're going to be just as dead in the water as if you used Wix. So
what I also point out is in a way they're talking about like these three things you do. You're saying you're a master of it, and it's very clear that you do these three things on your website. And so he's talking about, a master meaning specializing, but then you're saying say it clearly, right?
Yeah, and I'm also saying like this JJ Brown with this admin agency and then coming down and saying best marketing agency in Texas. So this whole exercise is going to be look like a duck, walk like a duck, quack like a duck. Right now I have looks like a duck, walks like a platypus, and maybe quacks like a kangaroo. These things are not congruent with each other. So as a result, Google can't get its hooks in. And oh, by the way, we have About Us randomly sitting here at the first of the thing. At the very first line. So I'm trying to come up, and then we have, so Google's looking for clues about what your website is about. So you ask, you execute, we all win. Okay. Or you ask, we execute, we all win. I don't know whether we win the lottery. I don't know whether we all execute what we're executing. And it's a great tagline, but it has no context to it. And because it has no context to it, Google has no idea what we're looking at. So if you come back to mine, you see how I have SEO, digital marketing, web hosting, or web design, web hosting. They clearly know what we do just simply by how I have done this. And if you remember, I just said to you, looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. SEO services, web design, web hosting. SEO services, web design, web hosting. SEO services, web design, web hosting. SEO and digital marketing, web design, and web hosting. So those things are there repetitively. So there is no doubt in Google's mind that what the order is, because it's consistently the same every place you see it in the top half of this page on the home page. If you don't have it that way, you have a problem. So we come back over here, and I appreciate you, Juliet, letting us kind of talk through this with your website, because it's the way. So this About Us needs to go away. You ask, I don't know who the you is. I guess you mean me. That needs, and I keep telling the people in my company, I keep using the word antecedent, and they keep saying to me, we don't know what you're talking about. They never taught us antecedents. And I'm like, okay, so now you're saying I'm old because we don't use that word anymore. But what it is the word directly to the left of something. If you don't put the words in, people don't understand where it goes. All right, look at the very top of where it is. It says not sure where the title tag is on a website. If you look at the two tabs that are in here, see tab A, tab B, you see what I'm clicking on? You notice that there's language on both of those. That's the title tag. All right. It's the tab, it's the title of the page that appears on the tab in your browser. All right. So if you notice, it just lit up. It says JJ Brown, Administrative Assistant. So that's that problem. Okay. And then this one has its own over here. All right. So my title tag needs to match the very first thing I say. Now, in this case, it actually does match, but it doesn't say anything because an admin agency, I have no idea what that is. All right. Now, if you wanted to say JJ Brown, Digital Marketing Agency, Brooklyn, I might accept that. Okay. But JJ Brown Admin Agency says it's a big nothing burger. No idea what that actually says. I get rid of this about us as I'm auditing a website. I would say, why is that even there? Because it shouldn't be. It's misappropriated. And then the other thing, if you notice, the navigation again does not support the services. It says offerings. You don't have offerings, you have services. All right. So if we're not going to list what the service types are, at least let's use the right word, because offerings, Google has gone through, outline what it believes the language says, and then they go ahead and they key off of that. So we're this offerings, although it sounds nice, at the end of the day, it needs to be services, because that's what you sell. You have services. All right. So now we come to what have we written. The first 150 characters of every page should back up what we're talking about. Except on this one, we don't really know what we are. We're talking about you as the business owner, not the services that you offer. Okay. It should, this whole first sentence, it needs to kind of go away. All right. It says, we specialize in digital marketing and offer a range of services to help local businesses stand out and reach their goals. All right. We specialize in digital marketing designed to help local business owners succeed in SEO, web design, whatever the services you're offering, because reach your goals. Great. Sounds fantastic. What does that mean to Google? You could be, all I know, you could be the messy guy that plays soccer trying to reach their goals. All right. Because again, there's nothing here to guide them to what this is about. So you as a human understand it, but Google doesn't get good hook words here to understand it. Okay. Marketing that grows small business. At our company, our mission is to help small businesses reach their goals. Okay, so here is their goals again. All right, so again, we're talking about goals. So my question then would be is, are you a coach? Because you're trying to help people reach their goals. Or are you a digital marketing agency that actually performs a function on digital marketing? You're talking about what you do, or what you hope to achieve. Yeah, write it. Yeah, I want to stay a little bit away from machine language, mostly because I don't want anybody using chat GPT. We will have a whole nother throwdown about AI probably next month, because we're going to talk about what you can and can't do, because I keep running into people that think that they have found nirvana with chat GPT. All right, so I look at this, I have no idea what you do, because you're a goalie for a company. That's a good thing. I had a company build my website. Just because you had a web designer build your website does not know that they understand how to do this. And this is an interesting point that you bring up, okay? And I have this quite a bit. I have a lot of people that like to talk to me about how pretty something is or how pretty something isn't. I have a lot of people that want to talk to me about what they do, and they talk in very lofty language. And at the end of the day, they have no idea how to make that page rank. I literally have been having this discussion for the last week and a half with my business partner. And it was funny, because what she said to me this morning is, she said, well, I know back in the day they would throw Titanic all over a page, and they would do it because, and I'm going to date myself again, but when we go all the way back to 1998, Titanic was like the biggest movie since sliced bread, right? And what the people would do to get people to their website, the search engines were not sophisticated like they are now. So they would throw the word Titanic all over a porn site and be able to get you to go. So you'd search Titanic and you'd end up on a porn site. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't smart enough to match the language on the page to what all these signals were. We've moved away from making signals and talking a language that Google doesn't understand. But you know what? People don't understand it either. I'm having to figure out what this person does. And in 8 seconds, I have no idea what you do. So I've hit back in my browser and I'm on my way backwards, because I don't know. I don't know if these are your people, these are your staff. I don't know what I'm looking at. And I don't know what you do. So I'm not the web design business is full of people that know how to put boxes on a screen, but may not necessarily know how to write the content that's attached to those boxes. So I do want to kind of say that we have to be clear and clean and concise in all we say, and don't just assume that somebody actually knows what they're talking about or what you're trying to convey. Tell them what you do before you try to tell them how they should feel about you. All right. Or, you're going to help them reach their goals. Well, how are you going to help me reach my goal? You haven't even talked to me yet. So you don't even know what my goal is. My goal could be to be the worst person on the internet. So I don't know. Now I'm out the door. So you need to tell people what you do as opposed to what you think they want you to do. All right. And the other thing that starts to be a little bit of an oxymoron in this, okay, is that you're a digital marketing agency, but yet the language on this website doesn't support that properly. So I would kind of wonder a little bit myself, because I'm struggling to figure out what you do. And it says, we understand the need for business, especially small business, to keep up in a digital age. Okay, I accept that. That's why we specialize in providing them, small business owners, with the services that are needed to increase visibility where, all right, to get the word out and ultimately boost their sales. Okay, so this down here maybe needs to be moved up a little bit, because at least you're telling me you're going to boost sales and you're not going to help me reach my goal. Because at this point in my life, my goal is to have a travel trailer and drive around America. All right, so this is where this starts to be what are you trying to do? And I hope everybody understands I'm being kind of funny as I'm saying that. But okay, so it says, on a side note, anyone notice that they throw a top search term in an article and it never really answers it? I get a bunch of subtitles with a few lines in text below it in each one and call it an article. What do you think about that? So this is where you have to have substance. All right. So and I am going to utilize this because this page has become, and as you can see, here's our old digital marketing. They're all under the blog tab. So you can see that we have them here. All the previous clinics are here.
Why don't you put a link to that one, that page? I put your overall website there, but put a link to that page where they can find all the other recorded digital marketing clinics. Great.
All right. So, and they're mixed in here. They're not just all whatchamacallit it here, but this page has become a textbook of what to do. All right. So, and I'm going to kind of go through it. So as I'm telling you to audit your website, this is what I want you to look for. Quacks like a duck, walk like a duck, must be a duck. So my title tag here says the ultimate guide for recovering from a Google algorithm update and penalty in 2023. What I might do, and actually what I'm actually going to do, is change this around to say Google algorithm penalty and updates and flip them. But that's just me trying to tune this stylus in a little bit more. So you see my title tag, my article name matches my title tag. And then you see that my very first thing I have here matches again, right? So we're very clear what this page is about. All right. Understanding and recovering from an update. The true cost of bad SEO. What are the types of Google penalties? And the reason we put these here in these subheadings here is basically what you're saying, is a whole bunch of subtitles with a few lines of text below it, because Google's keying off those headlines. And if the headlines do not support the rest of the page, then you have a problem. But to learn how to do this right, so you can see types of Google penalties, and then I have the types of Google penalties that run underneath it. What is the difference between a manual action and an algorithm penalty? All right, so there's that. What causes a Google penalty? Here we go. Here's more of it. How to determine if your site was hit. Here's 6 points of some of the evaluation tools that you can see if your site was hit. So you see each and every one of these subs, I literally could pull them out and put them on their own page and make them their own article. But this is a comprehensive 4,000 word guide with subheadings in it that are related and relative to what my topic on my material is. So if you kind of see what I did here and you follow this as a model. So as I say, audit, you open your page, you look at your title, you make sure your title matches here, and then you start to come down and make sure that all your subheads make sense in regard to your title. If those headers are missing, you've got a problem. And let me give you a little piece of a rule here. Okay. You can have one H1 tag. You can have as many H2 tags as you want. You can have as many of H3 tags as you want. But understand that an H2 tag is higher in value than an H3 tag. So this all came out of the newspaper world. So, Astros win the World Series is a H1. Okay. Astros win this World Series. Jeremy Pena named MVP. All right. That the Jeremy Pena would probably be an H2. If it say Jeremy Pena wins MVP and Justin Verlander gets the follow-up vote, that could be an H3. So you see in a level of importance, they won the World Series. Pena's the MVP. Verlander's the follow-up. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. And that's the example or the way a 1, a 2, and a 3 would work. So you need to make sure that you're doing that. So this is, I don't see a title tag when I'm on my website. I only see the URL. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. So if you put your website in, it should come up with a tab. Your browser should have tabs to it, unless you have tabbed browsing turned off. And if you do have tab browsing turned off, you can tell it element, and like on Chrome, it says go to the developer, and it'll show you all the code. It tells you what you have, what you don't have, what a title tag is, and you see here's the title tag. Now let me tell you something about what was done here. All right. Remember, I told you sometimes platforms aren't done right and why they're not done right. And this thing is built on a platform, which that's a whole nother problem. All right. Look where the title tag is. The title tag is way below. The title tag should be right here under the head. All right. Sometimes there's a language set and a language image, but short of that, that title tag belongs right underneath the header. And because it's not there, Google's already halfway down it before we have a Facebook Connect script before we even put the title tag here. And that's a prime example why I say these cookie cutters are bad, because this code is out of order. So right out of the box, this website is pretty much having a problem just simply because the code's out of order. So you need to look at all this kind of stuff. And this is why things get messy and mixed up. And then look at all this extra code we got running around here. All right. So this is another set of problems running around. All right. And then we go into our body tag and we come down into it and off we go. All right. But at the end of the day, I got a messed up header here that's not right. That's missing stuff. There's no canonical tag. There's all these things missing just simply because it's just not done. And that's where these are a problem, because if I didn't open this up and look at it, you wouldn't have known that. And oh, by the way, this is built with a builder, because some of this stuff is sitting out weird. It's not sitting in a, what is this thing built on? Because I don't think it's built with WordPress. I'm pretty sure. I guess I can go put it in something and go find out. Hold on a minute. I have a tool that'll actually tell me when something's built in. Yeah, see, it's not built in WordPress. And this is a prime example of why I'm saying don't build it in, don't not build it in WordPress. That's too negative. So nobody correct my grammar, please. All right, let's go pick out another one here, because this one here has got this one's got a lot of issues to it. And again, I'm not really picking on anybody. I hope everybody understands that that's not what this is about. I'm trying to teach you properly, so you know. And oh, by the way, there's no footer on this, and we're running an ad for the company that you built the website. So here, all right, this is another thing. Again, when I audit a website, you see this powered by thing on the bottom? It goes out to these other people's websites. So your homepage gains power by people that are linking to you, and it starts to amass its power attached to it. So the more power you gain, the further up the search engine you move. The problem with this is you've now taken this power and sent it out to the UNE, whatever you say that, web platform. All right. So you now have taken part of your power and given it to somebody else just because you're running an ad for how you built the website. Get that off the bottom. And what are these merchant policies? Why are we even saying payment method accepted cash? Get that off the bottom. Please complete a full terms and conditions. Okay, so now we're telling Google that our website is, or it says, please contact us for a full terms. So now I have a web page with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words on it. Okay, so now we got that problem. So I get the merchant policies off of there, legal notices. These are not really legal notices either. So I mean, I'm all for having, privacy policy and terms and conditions. But if you're going to do that, you need to actually do that and not just throw stuff there like that. That I don't think I have them on this website. I mean, I have them, but I don't think I have them anywhere where somebody can actually get to them. No, I don't. I probably need to add that myself. Okay. All right, let's get another one here. Where's another one? Who else wants to throw one at me? Let's go look at it. Oh, you should take the power die off by and the link of where it goes to. Okay. Well, yeah, but if you can't remove it, then you need a different builder. She needs a different builder anyway because that builder's bad. But if you can't remove the ad for wherever you got it from, that tells you you need to not have it. So at least that's my 2 cents worth. Okay, so let's kind of do a little audit on you. So your first problem is your homepage. You can remove it. She's not using Elementor. She's not using WordPress. She's using a platform. And again, this is kind of why platforms are bad. She's not using something that Elementor is compatible with. All right, so let's look at this nice lady's website. First of all, are you a doctor? That's a yes or no question here. Okay, all right. Okay, that's good. I just want to make sure that we knew that here somehow. All right, so the first thing that jumps off the top of me is that our homepage is called Home. So often when I do audits on people's websites, the first thing I do is I sit down and I look at that title tag. And what I want you to do is pretend you just landed here from Mars. And if I walked in the door and I said to you, home, and I was a Martian, what would I think? This needs to say, I'm assuming, and if I get this wrong, yell it out at me and let me know. But I am assuming that you are a financial planner and or financial planning coach. Is that right? Yes? Okay. All right. So although we say we're a financial wellness consultant, those things don't necessarily go together. A cute little, you're a financial coach and consultant. That's what this should say. Financial coach and consultant serving Houston, Texas. So, that's where we need to start. Because again, if I take this here, let's see what we look like. I should have used Chrome. All right, if I put in financial wellness, I get understanding it from Forbes. I get how is financial wellness defined. Google really doesn't know what it is to return it as a result. But if I change this to financial coach, or financial coaching services, Google knows exactly what I am, and it even gives me a map. So it knows what it is if I put in a financial coach, but financial wellness, it has no idea what that is. All right, change it to services. All right, if I change it to services, it finds me a business down on Savoy, and you're competing with an article from Paychecks. So this is where you now have to start to ask, did I pick the right word to put on my website? So I might be a financial wellness or financial fitness advisor, which is a great kitschy thing. But unfortunately, what I'm looking at is Google has no idea what it is. Okay, it says, I help overworked, overwhelmed professional women, especially healthcare professionals. Now, so far, I'm from Mars, and it says wellness connect consultant, and I now talk about healthcare professionals. And I'm now saying so now I've confused Google because I'm throwing the words out there that they don't actually understand. So hold on a minute. Oh, it's somebody. Sorry about that. Okay, I thought it was a problem, but it's not. Okay, so when I look at this thing and I start to look at this, professional healthcare professionals, wellness, I'm kind of wondering what we're talking about. So again, this becomes this situation that I'd have to look on how to rewrite some of this, because when I look at this, it's completely out of sync with what Google would say. So, let's face it. And honestly, the first 120, 150 characters are the most important. So you may not think you need a financial coach. In all the years of experience I have coaching people to financial wellness, I find that most people are overwhelmed, overworked, professional women. And I just changed that around so my keywords are now, or my key concepts are in the beginning of the sentence. So it says, as your financial wellness, my goal is to, and you're calling yourself a consultant, you're really a coach, because that's the other thing. I might bring that coaching word in because Google understands what that coach is, but it doesn't understand what a consultant is, because financial is a financial consultant. And I'm using Google to figure this out, just FYI, just so you know that that's where I'm coming up with stuff. Financial consultant. All right. See, look, what's the difference between these two things? Financials that provide investment advice, consultants provide more broad-based and designed to help. Yeah, I mean, this wellness is throwing this out. So you need a title tag for sure. You need to move this bar around, because the first thing what you do is financial coaching. So that needs to not say about, it needs to say financial coaching. I don't know what team you're training, but if this is another type of thing that you do, I'm not sure what that is, but that's Google doesn't understand, because team training could be soccer, baseball, Astros. By the way, I like the Astros in case you haven't noticed. Texans, like the Texans too. It's not clear. So again, from an audit standpoint, I'm going to look at the title tag. The title tag is not, all they're doing, whoever did this website for you, all they're doing is pulling whatever the title of this page is, and they've not altered the title tag. So team training, Land from Mars have no idea what team training is. Let's see what your header tag looks like. All right, well, at least your header tag's in a much better place than the last lady's. But you're another one with a storefront, I think, with a non-WordPress website that has crap all in their header wrong. I don't think this is a WordPress website. It is not. You know what this was built in? I don't think you know it. You don't know what it was built in, do you? And that's your thing. Financial training for companies. That's what this should say instead of team training, because team training. The Texans have a team trainer. They work with them to do how they build up their muscle, and they don't get. Yeah. It's if it's hosted on Kajabi, then my guess is it's on a platform that they provide. But you can see again why this is all so screwed up overall, because at the end of the day, see if I can just kick that on. Yeah, see, this one is not. Hold on. All right, let me throw you one else. This website's hosted in Canada. And this is what else you got to watch out for. Why is your Houston, Texas website based in Canada? You know the answer to that? You don't, because you didn't even probably know that it was, I don't think, if I had to guess. I'd be careful hosting outside the United States. I'm just going to throw that one sideways and out there. Yeah, this thing is not. Redirects web built with. Yeah, it doesn't even know what it was built with. Domain authority. Let me come up here. I'm sorry. I put some things on this here. I just want to see what it gives me as far as what this thing is built with. Page. Yeah. Yeah, you need to look at it because you're a local Houston business. We've got this website. It's a little screwy, and oh, by the way, it's in Canada. I mean, if it was all done right and it was in Canada, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be, I don't know that I would be too yeah, this thing's messy. Yeah, I don't it looks great. So let me just say that it looks great, but there's a lot wrong with it. So your title tags are wrong just from a 50,000 foot view. Title tags are wrong. Your H tags are wrong. You do have 1,000 words on your homepage. That's good. Proud of you for that one. You have no H1 or no, you have two H1s and three H2s. So you only need one H1. So whatever you need to do, you need to go back and ask them what's what. And then here you are. We're talking about you. You're giving away a free book. Are you sick of being stuck? Maybe it should say financially stuck. Do you know there's a sequence to success? Okay, if you say so, don't know what that means. And all the tools you need to build a successful life and business. But the site looks great for on some level it really does look pretty good. I'm very impressed with the appearance of it, but it's just not there's a lot wrong with it. So the words are not right, the navigation's not right, the title tags throughout the website are not right. I might just not say public speaking. I might say public speaking on finance. I might define what I'm publicly speaking on. I also might be putting up videos to show people I actually know how to publicly speak. And oh, by the way, they now have your blog repetitively on every page. And then they have a link on the bottom that says California privacy, which is great, except that you're a Houston company. So I don't like the California sitting on the bottom and the California right to privacy, because although California thinks they're special, we're sending a signal to Google telling them about California on your Houston website. And I don't even see that you said the word Houston anywhere here. At least the first lady had the word Bronx on it. So from a note-taking standpoint, you need to clarify some of these terms. You need to put a header on it. You need to fix your header tags throughout this website. Be more, if you're looking for a dynamic speaker on finance, not a dynamic speaker, because I have a dynamic speaker right here. It's a Sony It's really awesome. And if everybody wants one that's pretty loud, and then I went and bought its big brother. You want to talk about a dynamic speaker? Here it is. I say that again, it's funny, mostly because I want you to understand that Google has no idea what you're talking about. So when I do these things and I kind of say these things in a funny way, I hope everybody understands that I'm not picking. I just want to let you know. So it says, but what if she offers services virtually that she would still need to put Houston? And the answer is going to be yes for the most part on that. And the reason why is this. When I come over to financial consultants, or that was a question. What did we say? Financial coach, FINANCIAL coach. If I put in financial coach, a map appears. Whenever you see a map, that's your signal that you should have the localized words on a page. All right. So if I don't put any other words on a page other than financial coach, nothing's coming up because they don't know that you're locally here. And on top of it all, she has no address on this thing anywhere that's going to, let me see if it's under about. No. So Google has no idea where in the United States of America you are. You might be in Canada. You might be in California. You might be, I don't know where you are. Are you, let me maybe ask a different question, because the last lady, I asked her if she was in the Bronx and she said yes. Where are you located? Are you Houston or are you somewhere else? I just assume you're Houston. Okay, yeah. There's nowhere on here that says where you are. And that may be by design because you're trying to catch everybody, except that coaching and financial advisors all seem to be have maps appearing next to them. So as a result, you're going to have a really hard time getting yourself out there, because what's going to end up happening is they're not going to know anything about anything. So that's that story. So I think you need some localization to this website. I think you need better title tags on this website. I think this website's got a whole bunch of stuff not quite right on it. Yeah, what?
Beth, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 more websites people have put in. So I've checked them out. I know where they are, and I'm checking out to see if the people are still in the meeting. And I just thought I'd call a couple of others to your attention because I know you're wrapping up on this one. So
yeah, all right. Yeah, if you want to give another one, but what I want everybody to look at is title tags. I want everybody to understand the title tag. I want everybody to know how to write a title tag, because if I had to ask, if somebody walked in and said to me, what's the most important criteria for ranking a website, I'm going to tell you the title tag. All right. So if you can't get the title tag right, and it has to be right, it can't be whatever pithy, languagey, kitschy marketing message we want. If we are a financial coach, we need to say we're a financial coach. If we're a web designer, we need to say if we're a web designer. We don't want to say we are the modern equivalent of the digital Monet. What is that? It's nothing. I mean, so as I'm saying this kind of stuff, I want you guys to understand like what the issue is and what we need to be focused on. All right. So that title tag, when I audit a website, I look at the title tag. I look at the title tag on each and every page on a website. I go through, I make sure they're not duplicated. I make sure that they're there. I make sure they're in the right spot. I make sure that they're written properly. And if they're not, I go ahead and correct them and fix them on everybody's page. All right. So that's the first thing.
that sounds good. And I think they're all learning from what you did on this one. And so I'll just mention the others because they're all still here. And let's see, Betty Driver is something about couture, a house of couture. Taria Johnson is kitchens. And I think she's put herself in again at the bottom just to make sure
She was just nice enough to do that.
Right.
Welcome.
And then Toby Cooper is about pecans, and Lance Henderson is about onpec.org. So I don't know what that's about. So they're at
look at this
631, 631, Betty, if you want to do couture, if you want to do Taria Johnson kitchens, she's at 710 and then at the bottom.
Hey, let's look at this kitchen one because this one's interesting.
All right.
Are you in South Carolina? You're in Houston. We
Interesting.
got a whole lot of talking about South Carolina on a Houston website.
Were you in South Carolina before and now you're in Houston?
Originally from South Carolina. All right. But, all right. So, first of all, are we a restaurant? Is that what we are? What are we? Let me see. Pies evolving into a restaurant. Okay. Instead of saying welcome to Charleston, I would say bringing a piece of Charleston to Houston or something along those lines because you're in Houston. If I didn't know where you were or what you were doing, I have nothing that says Houston, Texas, except that there. So you see how that, I don't have any idea. So this is the most confusing thing to Google. And then it starts out and it says, my family home in Charleston, South Carolina always smelled like a restaurant. Yeah, it made sense. We're talking about Charleston. I understand that's your thing, but introducing Houston to Charleston. I mean, there has to be a way.
Well, she's saying that
talk.
she's doing pies evolving to a restaurant. So introducing Houston to Charleston pies and more Southern treats or something like that.
Something there. And then we threw this, we threw this Charleston Kitchens on the bottom. I mean, I just think you need something that ties this to Houston because I look at this website, I have no idea. I just think Google misclassified it and threw it up on a. So, I mean, this is where, so that's another thing about us. Order online. What am I ordering online? I might put our pies right up here or authentic South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, although this sounds really good. So if we ever have a class in person again, I want the peach bourbon sweet potato pies to come to the class. Just going to say that up front. It's going to be a record. Isn't it really? I'm like, wait a minute, a peach bourbon. We want pie. I'm just going to tell you, this is not fair. So, so what you sell is sweet potato pies is what you're telling me, right? All right. So can you tell me where I sell sweet potato pies anywhere on the screen? Anybody see it? No, because it's not there. Bringing this Charleston hospitality to Houston, or bringing sweet, old fashioned South Carolina sweet potato pies to Houston. Something somewhere, somehow that ties this so it doesn't, because I have no idea what you do. I have a nice little biography over here that's talking about stew, soul food, cakes, pies, and homemade biscuits, except that you sell sweet potato pies. So we're talking about stew and soul food. We're not talking about sweet potato pie. This, instead of saying about us, it should say Charleston Kitchen's famous sweet potato pie, or whatever you want to say, however you want to say that. And then we should be talking about that. So that's a whole thing. Not that I'm saying, look, it looks pretty, although I don't think this is in Houston. I think this is a picture from South Carolina myself. If I look at this, I think it's South Carolina. So I'm a little confused by that too. And I mean, not that, listen, I understand what you're doing. I don't want you to think I'm like saying like I don't understand what you're doing. I do understand what you're doing. But the problem is, see, look, what is red rice to our family? You told me you sell sweet potato pies, but by gosh, we're talking about red rice. It's our favorite Charleston dish. My family loves red rice. Okay, great, except that you sell pie. Can I buy this rice somewhere on this website? Probably not, huh? Yeah, let's see. And then here's your food, 3 cups of heart. There you go. Okay. Yep. Yes. All right. So this whole website needs a massive clarification of what you actually do. So, hold on. All right. So that's that. Yeah, and I mean, I understand what you're saying. And she said it's a long term about branding as a restaurant. But we're not clear. So although this looks pretty, I don't really know what I can do on this website. And see, I might be tempted to throw the pies right here, our featured pie or holiday. Here, let me see something. Okay, look at this one. The Texas Gourmet, right? Welcome to Texas Gourmet, home of America's favorite jalapeno jelly. All right. So now I know, what do I know? That they sell jalapeno jelly and that the name of this is a Texas Gourmet. Okay. At Texas Gourmet, we're cooking with our grilling sauces, pepper jellies, dry rubs, and salsa. But you've already told me that they're the home of America's favorite jalapeno jelly. All right. And then I've got, what am I doing? This guy's cooking a pork tenderloin, with his jalapeno jelly. He's got places I can buy the jelly. I've got steak seasoning, Sidewinder stuff. I got tips. I got a recipe book. I've got retailers. And then I have my shop that I can go buy whatever I want. So this is a lot clearer about what we do, because at least we understand, well, it's the home of America's favorite jalapeno jelly. So I might borrow something here and try to say, hey, this is at least something about what you do, because although from a branding standpoint, you're right, you're trying to say this is South Carolina. I have no idea what you do. This might be an autobiographical website. This might be a whole bunch of different things. Just so you know, that Texas Gourmet site was built on Wix. I took it out of Wix and put it in WordPress. So it's that kind of, it's just like I said, it looks great, except it's not functional. And I have reviews with, guess what? No reviews. That's a bad thing too, because I'm wondering why you have reviews. I don't know what you sell. I don't know where you are. I don't know what you cook, and you have no reviews. And I'm really kind of worried. Now I'm out of here. And that's the way people's mind works. So this is where I want you to be careful on how you're doing it. So as I look at this, my title tag, it says sweet potato, but it doesn't say the word pie. All right. So there's another problem. We got Charleston Kitchens, sweet potato pie. It says sweet potato. Where's the word pie? Now, I could put Charleston Kitchens, home of our famous sweet potato pie, and I'd be okay. I might be a little bit okay with that title tag, although nothing here supports any of that. So that has to all be looked at. Like really long and hard. It's got to be looked at, because overnight ordering, I have no idea what I'm ordering, but oh wait, there's pies. So, and I'm not picking on anybody. I want everybody to understand that. I'm just trying to sometimes hyperbole makes a point, so I want everybody to understand that. And then the other thing is, you sell pie, but that looks like lobster. So we should have a pie here. See, I think when I come to this thing, and I don't know if anybody else thinks this, I look at this right out of the box. I'm thinking you're a beachfront restaurant in Charleston, South Carolina. And I'm wondering how I got there. And okay, see, me too. And everybody else kind of agree that this looks like a bed and breakfast or a getaway restaurant somewhere in South Carolina, and nothing.
Right, it does. It does.
Find pie on an internet, right?
What you said about reviews, Isabella asked, should I put testimonials on my portfolio page? Is that okay to do?
There's no professional proof. So you need to go get real reviews. Somebody took the time to write you a testimonial. You're going to hit reply and say, "Hi, could you do me a favor and go post this on Google? Here you go." So yeah, testimonial is nothing, because you know what I could do? I have this thing, it's called a keyboard, and I can make as many testimonials as I want. And that's the problem with them. They're just not, they're not a thing. Now, if you come to mine, how I handled it is, let me see. I don't know
I
if
want
it's,
people to know that for some reason I can't post anything in the chat anymore. So if you want to reach Beth and have her website and her phone number, I posted it earlier at 6:41.
Letha did it too. It's beth@verticalweb.com. I'm not really hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, this person said I'm ordering a pie as soon as I'm done. I might do that because that bourbon pie really sounds outstanding. But yeah, I mean, we've got to be smart in how we do this. And even though you know what you do, nobody else does. So when I come to this website, I'm ready to go to a beach. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm like ready to get to my car and go to wherever this is because I need a vacation. If this is about selling pies, great. But yeah, I think I'm going to the bed and breakfast that's in the picture here somewhere.
Oh, that big
I
picture
want
should
this
be more
lobster.
about beautiful pies and maybe some of the other stuff you're adding to your menu, right?
Yeah, I mean, you need to go get those pies photographed with the same, or find somebody with a camera that can do those pies with the same class as this, because this looks like an awesome food. This like food porn, right? I go over here and these don't have the same I don't know what's the right word, pizzazz to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same effect. So it's like a little round pie. I'm not even sure how big this pie is. It looks like maybe it's those little, it says it's mini, so maybe they're tiny pies. I don't know. I
It
don't
says
know what
3
they
inch.
are.
It says it's a 3-inch pie.
Oh, there it is. Yep. We had the pie
But
for
sometimes you can get people that actually photograph food and get, do it at a different angle and get it more shiny and stuff like
see,
that.
so their idea of professionally photographing it is to do it with a peach around it and a sweet potato. Okay. So I don't know, but this needs to be maybe people eating the pie.
Well, it
I
shows
need
relative size of it.
the pie needs to maybe be cut, and that needs to be and then you have a secondary one.
Yes, a food
Maybe
photographer,
that,
food stylist.
something like that. Uh,
Or when you take it out of the oven and it's still kind of steaming, or I don't know.
something, yeah, coming out of the oven. Something along those lines. I'm not saying this is a bad picture, but I mean, and now I'm gonna be a problem person just for a second. That peach, that pie, that peach looks ginormous next to that pie. That pie looks like maybe it's the size of an Oreo compared to that peach. So is it really, yeah, the pie would,
Maybe the peach
would
is 3 inches in diameter too.
I'm going to tell you what, you find the peach that's 3 inches in diameter, it was grown on a nuclear peach tree farm. That's a big freak.
I think if you're gonna if you have a big pie, you put the big pies and then you put a bunch of little pies, because normally people are gonna hopefully buy more than one little pie.
Proportionately, this peach looks bigger than the pie. So I'm concerned now that this is a mouth bite for a 3-inch pie for
Okay.
$6. It's one bite, because look how big that peach is compared to that little tiny pie.
She's got it. She's got it.
So that's what I'm saying to you. And yeah, I like that. How about a bourbon alongside the pie with a slice of the pie, I mean, that this is all that stuff you got to look at. All right, who else got a website they want to throw at me? Anybody? Anybody else brave enough?
See, Toby's at 7:12. She put her LinkedIn in, her post, her website in, and then Lance Henderson did at 7:15. Dan's artworks is at 6:40, and Isabella put hers in at 6:41. So take your pick.
I'm picking this guy because he said, I'm going to learn how to do this.
Okay.
I don't know what he does.
Charitable, religious, educational, scholastic, scholarship, and scientific purpose. I don't know what it is either yet.
All right.
Let's see. Let's make sure he's still here.
He is. He just put it in. I grabbed it.
Okay.
I actually understand what you do. You sell clothing. The last guy, I have no idea what he sells. Exclusively education resources on PEC. On PEC. For
About us. I mean, I know the point is to know
yeah,
it.
but the reason I'm doing this, I'm coming back again. I have no idea what this website's about.
There it is. Omega Nu Phi Educational Center. That's what the acronym is.
Oh, okay. All right. So these people seek to become a vehicle for enhancement of the quality of life for the people in Houston. And I'm saying these things how I'm saying them because I'm like thinking about like people read this. What does this mean? OnPEC wants to become a vehicle. Maybe it's the next Tesla. OnPEC through community-based programs will provide a means for its membership and its population serves to meet, gain information, and see. I have no idea what you do. Like literally no idea.
Well, the point is that we're going to figure it out, but you want them to know it right away, right?
Yeah, it is, but there's not even any clues to figure it out. They award scholarships. They have mentoring programs, career development skills for community involvement. Now, this is a little bit more promising, but they also have birthday parties and graduation parties.
Hmm.
But you know what's not here? The address of the venue. Oh, here it is, all the way down here.
What? So, hmm. So the enhancement of the quality of life is through getting them what is what you want to have right at the top, right?
And the other problem, well, no, I wouldn't put that. It's on every page, so that's got to get fixed. But it says, all right, I'm from Mars. We seek to become an effective vehicle for the enhancement of the quality of life. Am I a humidifier? Am I an air conditioner? Am I a car? Am I,
Community-based programs.
huh?
Through community-based programs. So there's multiple community-based programs that that are for the members.
You can't tell what this person does.
Meet, gain information, and seek assistance through various avenues. So it's the community-based programs that should be risen to the top about how they're going to get the community what they want.
What community, what based programs? See that this is what I'm saying. It's not clear. If you're an Omega man in the city, no, I click here and it tells me what my mission is. But I do know who the board members are.
Well, what are the different community-based programs? Find that.
Various scholarships, education, mentoring, career leadership. I can't click on any of them. And then the next thing is we're having birthday parties. But all right. So what this goes to show, to my mind, all right, and I won't pick on somebody, especially if they're trying to do some good work here. But what this shows to me is that we are too close sometimes to what we do, We have to step outside ourselves and explain it to people like they're 10 years old or 8 years old. Because I look at this website and I have no idea what this website does.
Well, I think, it's good that you come to try and, get more feedback on it, because sometimes it's not about how beautiful it looks, which it looks very nice, but it's also about just making it more strong. So you may just change some of what you've got on your website to make it more clear. And people do that a lot when they're moving through our small business success series. Also, if you make an appointment with SCORE and it's for a mentor, and you ask them to take a look at your website, and you start putting down some ideas about how you want to grow. A lot, we deal with people that are, trying to create a plan to grow their companies more. And so that's when people start asking you, well, what do you do? What is your top, what's your tagline? We teach people how to do pitches, like verbal pitches, but in a way, what she's talking about is like that version of a verbal pitch. When you meet someone, how do you talk about them first to let them know what you are, to fall in love with it right away because of why you do it, and then to go for the services. So it's just the order in which you're telling everyone and the placement of it. It's not that you're not doing some great things here.
I wouldn't even call them. I wouldn't even know what to do with this thing. Although I love purple. Purple is my favorite color, so I'm hanging out a little bit longer.
So I think that you got, it's good that you can't come tonight, because you can get a lot of good feedback, and you can make an appointment with someone at SCORE, or you can also, call Beth and ask for more feedback from her. But you're on to, feedback is good because it can help you strengthen how you're putting this stuff on the website and pull more business in.
You have to build trust with somebody. Okay. If I have to build trust with somebody, I don't know what they do, so I'm wondering what this is all about. Is it a fraternity? Is it a fraternity-based charity? Who do you serve? Because you promote charity, religion, education, scholarship, scientific purpose. Who are these people in this group? I don't know. Are they underprivileged? Are they overprivileged? Are they people that go to Rice University? I mean, who are these people?
Hey, Lance, are you there?
He might be mad at us.
Hope not. She speaks a little more directly than me, but it's all good stuff. So I hope that you feel that this has been useful to you, and that you can take some of this stuff and do seek SCORE, or talk with some other entrepreneurs, have friends look at your website and tell them to give you feedback, that kind of thing, because it sounds like you're doing some pretty good stuff. Fraternity serving young people, primarily college-bound kids. I see.
Are they kids that are troubled? Are they economically disadvantaged? Are they kids that live in River Oaks? Who are these kids? Because I have to make a case for why I should give you money. Because I don't understand who you're helping. Typically, economically.
That's good. Economically disadvantaged.
Now, we want to say that on here or not, I don't know.
So are you in a fraternity right now, like you're still in college?
And are these college age people, are they graduates of the fraternity? Yeah, that's a good question. I have a kid right now that I could use some help for college with. I mean, not my kid, but my friend's kid. I mean, is that what we do? How do you serve them? These are those things you need to ask yourself, and then make a more direct pitch with. Now, it could be that you don't want that because you don't want people coming to you through this. I have one that does breast cancer, and they give away grants and money to breast cancer patients, and they don't put that there because they don't want anybody to know they're handing out money. But on the other side of the coin, if you don't know what the purpose of the charity is, how are we going to decide whether we want to support you? Because you're hitting me with a donate link. And then it goes to something's not right. It goes to the wrong PayPal link. So now I'm losing my mind a little bit, thinking I'm about to get scammed. So I'm out the door. So I would fix the PayPal link and I would fix the messaging, and then I would explain like Education Center of Houston, helping Houston's economically disadvantaged youth to having a better life.
And get college scholarships if that's really what it's mostly about.
I mean, so there's a lot on that. All right, somebody grab me another one. I got a few more minutes of being brutal tonight.
There's another one
in the queue.
there's another one just got in the bottom from My Trendy Place, but there's also others. Let's see, we did there's somebody sells pecans. Toby Cooper sells pecans. Lisa Amasu does My Trendy Place right near the bottom. I think there's an artworks guy at 640 Dan's Artworks, and Isabella Wu put her website in. It's a Wix website at 641.
All right, hold on a minute, Sandra. Lost the chat window again. I hate when these things get lost.
751 is My Trendy Place with Lisa Amasu, and then Isabella put hers in again at the bottom.
What is it called? My Trendy Place?
My Trendy Place. That's it. 751.
No, I lost the chat window.
That's I
It
think.
went away.
Did you put it mytrendyplaceinc.com?
Yeah, it's here on the website.
Okay, so it's. Can you tell what it is all about?
Bra sales.
Was that what was on the first in the first place?
Now, you see it here? It says my Trendy Place. It's a lady that says shop our shapewear range. I'm wondering if it's the first one said something about wigs though.
Yeah, so there's wigs because I think it shows wigs first and then it scans pictures.
Wigs, clothing, Lisa Marie collection. I don't know what that means.
Lisa, tell her a little bit more about your website, what it's supposed to be projecting.
I need a chat window. Hold on a minute. I don't know where it went.
People who need to find themselves. No, that's what Chloe's suggesting. Lisa,
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, people that need to find themselves, I think it's people that are wrong size that need clothing. Like
well,
me, that are overweight.
we provide high-end hair replacement systems for women with cancer and alopecia.
Okay, so what does the clothes have to do with that? I would understand what you're saying on the hair and the hip and the hair and the hair replacement systems. I got that. Okay. Sheet clothing for, but they don't have to have cancer or alopecia, do they?
Well, the clothes are for everyone, and the other two things are for cancer patients, if I'm understanding.
Yeah, I understand that. Again, hyperbole. Hyperbolic on purpose to explain what are we doing. All right, so high quality wigs to help women feel better. No, help women with cancer and alopecia, and those are the words. People with alopecia are going to be the ones looking for this kind of stuff.
Let's think of it in terms of Google searches and things like that.
Yes, that's what it is.
Because she's being subtle, let's put it this way. Because is there any place on the website, Lisa, that you talk about, for cancer patients and alopecia?
Homepage, let's see. Shop our natural rays. No, because we're not talking about that. Oh. All right, are these plus size clothes? What makes these clothes special? I mean, not to be, but what makes your boutique special? Other than you run it and you're awesome. And that's an acceptable answer. So, I mean, but really talk to me about what this is, because that's what
There's a section that explains how we help women with hair loss. Where is it? What do we click on to get there? Is there one that talks about the wigs and the cancer patients?
And it has Black Friday deals, consultations.
There's a sec.
I don't see consultations.
So tell us where to click to find that part about consultations and alopecia.
No, this looks like a clothes store. There is no consultations
Well,
on it.
if you have the picture scroll past, it's called appointments tab. That's what she's saying. But if you have the equal play to the things that are scrolling across the top, it makes them equally, what it makes them all these are what this is all of what we do. So
Appointments tab. Everybody stop. I don't have an appointments tab.
mhm.
Where is it?
Where is the appointments tab?
Wig, clothing, new arrivals, Lisa Marie, accessories, gift cards, health and wellness, beauty tools.
I guess go down more.
Free shipping, free returns.
More.
I don't see it.
So we're
All
not.
right. All right, here it is. Book an appointment. Hold on a minute. Nope. That's prosthetic consultation. All right, so let's have a serious talk here. If you want to be a clothing store, you've done a good job. It doesn't have a real good direction on it, but at least you're in a better spot than some people. Okay. And your title tag is shop women's clothing, accessories, and wigs. Great. Okay, I'm kind of down for that. But if we're doing specialty items and we're leading with wigs, all right, wigs would be in any other part of the world. The clothing would be first. I don't know that I would put new arrivals under clothing. I'd put your Lisa Marie other clothing. All right. I would put the wigs way down on the right because I don't know why we have health and wellness.
Well, I think that there's services added that are for cancer patients and people seeking recovering from cancer, because they've lost their hair from cancer. But and there's also the bras and that kind of thing, and then there's prosthetics that go with that too.
This is really here. Okay, so look at this. I go up here to health and wellness. It just says health and wellness, but we don't know why you have a health and wellness tab on this website. And it only has really 3 things underneath it. So it needs to go under a different category because a 3-category product category is not a good thing.
Well, I know we're still a little bit involved in this, but that somebody suggested a tab for cancer and alopecia. That might be good too. But it's 8 o'clock now, and I don't know how it is that it seems like it's going to take a long time to do all of this stuff, and then we run out of time every time. And I would love it if we could have gotten to more of the website.
Yeah, I could talk for 3 more hours. That's the real truth of it.
Well, thank you, everyone. I hope you learned from what was happening with other people in terms of what kind of advice she was giving them. So we're going to do this again. Have you thought of, by talking about this today, have you thought about a topic for next month, Beth? Or will we let you
I might. I think what I want to do is go back to AI, Sandra, and I want to start talking about AI and AI prompts. And
all right.
how,
Yeah, but you're talking about that a little bit today about writing emails with AI and then
yeah, okay with writing emails. I'm not okay with web pages.
All right. Okay. So, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But everybody, because you came tonight, you'll be on our email list, and you'll find out through SCORE, you'll find out through HCC, and then we'll get you back here with Beth. It's every last Wednesday of the month. In the evening, You can, bring your favorite, beverage, like we do San Pellegrino, and you can even eat since you're off screen while you're learning from Beth. Okay. So
Well, and you know what else we can do? We can do AI, and we also can do keywords and how to focus on things, which I think that's what we need. I think we need to talk about how do we get a web page focused.
yes, I
Use
think that would be
AI and use how do you guys talk about Etsy stores? I would have a whole website and have the Etsy store relate to it, but I would wrap my own website around it.
all right. So what'll it be?
Just an
About
Etsy
replay?
store.
You're gonna. So Beth gets a recording from Lalita, and then she works on posting it on that very link. I don't know why all of a sudden it's made it that I can't post in the chat, Beth. But if you take that link that you posted earlier and put it back down there, the blog spot, they'll have the website already where you can go find this when Beth posts it for the recording for today.
Hold on, I'm getting it.
Yeah, I think I got.
I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Well, if somebody said recommendations for a hosting company, I mean, we're a full service company. So we do hosting, we do domains, we do web design, we do SEO, you name it, we do it. So I don't know that I need to go much past that statement, but I started my whole company saying, fine, you can't do it for me, I'll do it myself. So I should name myself doityourself.com.
Right. So she's here to try and teach you how to do it if you want, but you can do any
Yeah,
combination.
we're going to talk about that next time. This is not a today thing.
Yes. What, that last thing?
Yeah, is there a systemic way to know which keywords are more suitable for my business? Yeah, we're going to talk about that next time. We're going to talk about
Okay,
AI. We're going to talk about
that's the topic. We'll work on that.
AI. Let's do that.
Uh,
Keywords and AI.
AI. Okay, this is
Focusing your
website focus, so you bring them in.
Focusing your business using AI.
Yes. Well, and keywords.
I don't want that in there.
Okay. All right. Okay, you guys.
You put it if you want. You can put it. I'm not. I think if you want to put the word keywords in it, you can. I'll acquiesce.
Well, we'll write the blurb together, and then we'll send it to Lolita, and they can get it ready to go. So, guys, come back next month if you want more, and you'll get a recording of this. And if we don't see you next month, you're still invited to come the month after that. Just keep posted on notices, and when you see a topic you like, or you want to, pop in and listen, you can, or you can go find the recording later. Thanks everyone for coming tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.